Uh, okay, so good day, everyone. Good day, everyone. So we are here to elaborate our understandings and answers about assessment and learning with our small group discussion. So before we start, I have to introduce our team. Our team named Team Wizard with my co-reporters or with my groupmates. By the way, my name is JAMILLA. With my co-reporters for today, Evangelio Ivan. Are you here? HELORENTINO May Ann. So I guess HELORENTINO May Ann is not around today because bago lang namatay ang iyang papa. And Princess Hamilia na and SARIO DERCY. Okay. So we are all present for today except for Hilariantino Milan. So kindly we will start our discussion for today. Next slide. First question. Number one. Who among the teachers described below is doing assessment? Letter A. Mrs. Bautista who is administering a test of her students. B. Mr. Ferrer, who is counting the scores obtained by the students in his class test. Letter C. Miss Leiva, who is computing the final grade of the students after completing all the requirements. Letter D. Proof Cuevas, who is planning for a remedial instructions after knowing that students performed poorly on her test. So, from the word assessment, it is the process of documenting, usually in measurable terms, knowledge, skills, and attitudes or beliefs. So, it is very obvious that in the problem, Ms. Leiva is describing assessment learning because Ms. Leiva is going in her assessment and she is determining whether her students pass or fail the subjects. So the answer is letter C, which is Ms. Leiva who is computing the final grade of the students after completing all their requirements. Number 2, Mr. Fernandez is judging the accuracy of these statements. Which statements will be considered as correct? First, or number one, test is a tool to measure trait. Two, measurement is process of qualifying a given trait. Number three, assessment the gathering of quantitative and qualitative data. Number four, evaluation is the analysis of quantitative and qualitative data for the for so for the answer of this statement or problem is letter D because the statement is describing about a good control system enables management to verify whether the standards set are accurate and objective. So it is the number one, two, and three because it specifies the subject and it is best described to be true since measurement is defined in a wrong way. Next slide. after after doing after doing the exercise on verbs, Miss Murillo gave a short quiz to find out how well the students have understood the lesson. What type of assessment was done? A. Summative assessment. B. Formative assessment. C. Diagnostic assessment. D. Placement assessment. So the correct answer is letter B, because formative assessment, since the purpose of the assessment is to find out what the students have understood from the exercise about the lesson presented in the form of quiz. So the answer is letter B. Number 4. You are assessing for learning. You are assessing for learning. Which of these would you like to do? A. Giving grades to students. B. Reporting to parents the performance of their child. C. Recommending new policies in grading students. Or D. Assessing the strengths and weaknesses of the students. So the correct answer is letter D. Because at the course level, assessment provides important data on breadth and depth of student learning. And assessment is more than grading. It's about measuring the progress of student learning. Thus, assessment is defined as a process of gathering data to better understand the strengths and weaknesses of students' learning. So, next.
So question number 5. Miss Saplan is planning to do an assessment of learning. Which of these should she include in her plan considering her purpose for assessment? Choices A. How to give immediate feedback to students' strength test. B. How to develop of understand learners. C. How to certify students' achievement. D. How to design one's instruction. So for me, my answer is letter A, because since assessment is defined as to know the strengths and weaknesses of students in a certain aspect, I think letter A is best way to include in her purpose to assess her strengths. Question number 6. You targeted that after instruction, your strength should be able to show their ability to solve problems with speed and accuracy. You then design a tool to measure ability. What principle of assessment did you consider in this situation? Letter A. Assessment should be based on clear and appropriate learning targets or objectives. B. Assessment should have a positive consequence on students' learning. C. D. Assessment should be fair. So for me, the answer is letter C, because the principle of assessment must be considered must be reliable. I think the most appropriate technique is to access the students to make their own objectives and align it with their skills. Next.
So probably May and Hilorentino is not around today. I will just read her answers and discussions of a topic na iyahang supposedly ansiran. So number 7 and 8. Number 7, Mr. Mr. V- 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 M Ravelas made an essay test for the objective, which is identify the planets in the solar system. Was the assessment method used the most appropriate for the given objective? Why? A. Yes, because essay test is easier to construct than objective test. B. Yes, because essay, essay test can measure any type of objective. Letter C. No, he should have conducted oral questioning. Or letter D. No, he should have prepared an objective test. So the answer is letter D. Probably no. He should have prepared a more concrete test that will achieve the objectives. The best type of test is identification test instead of essay test. So the answer is letter D. Number 8. Mr. Sidro wants to test students' knowledge of the different places in the Philippines, their, their capital and their products, and so he gave his students an essay test. If you were the teacher, will you do the same? Letter A. No. The, the giving of an objective test is more appropriate than the use of essay. Letter B. No. Such method of assessment is inappropriate because essay is difficult. Letter C. Yes, essay test could measure more than what other tests could measure. Letter D. Yes, essay test is the best in measuring any type of knowledge. So, my the answer is letter A. No, giving the objective test is more appropriate than the use of essay. As a teacher, De- definitely no. I would have prepared a multiple choice kind of exam or the best is in enumeration because in that way the objective of the assess is students know the different places in the Philippines will be achieved. Next, we will just wait for Princess Amelia for a while. Hmm? Kanang no, poor akong signal so nag-isa kami ni Bea. So question number 9. If a teacher has set objectives is in all domains or learning targets and which could be assessed using a single performance task, what criterion in selecting a task should she consider? A. Generalization Generalization, B. Fairness, C. Multiposy, D. Teachability. So the answer is letter C. In selecting a task, a teacher should consider this multiple foci because every student is diverse when it comes to their learning needs. A teacher should use these multifoci in order to cater them according to their learning needs. And we must consider that every learner has their strengths and their weaknesses. So in order for us to know that this multifoci is applicable for them. Question number 10. The, the, the pupils are to judge individually on their mastery of singing the national anthem so their teacher let them sing individually. What should the teacher use in rating the performance of pupil considering the fact that the teacher has only one period to spend in evaluating her 20 pupils. A. Analytic, C. Holistic, B. Holistic, C. Either holistic or analytic, D. Both holistic and analytic. So the answer is letter D. A teacher should be holistic, which based on their overall judgment of pupils' work. Given that she has only one period to spend in evaluating her 20 pupils, she must use this scoring so that she can rate all students before the time. Thank you. Next one. So that must be all our discussion for today and our understanding about assessment